Welcome to the London Outlook for Thursday, the 25th of January 2024. Starting off with the calendar, as you can see, we've only got USD red folder news. That's good for our London session. It means there's less decisions to make in that regard. Moving on to the 4-hour chart, nothing much has changed in comparison to yesterday's end of day review. Essentially, we're still in this unconfirmed market structure where we either sweeping liquidity right here or actually confirming or in the process of validating a bearish market trend. Given the uncertainty, my rules still apply where I don't trade against 4H OBs. I require 4H OBs to fuel any trade ideas to trade long or short. And then obviously I need IRL within to then ultimately target the substructure. If there's no substructure validated, I cannot trade. So those are my rule sets for trading this particular scenario. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is that this primary leg for HOB was validated when we extended the leg. If you recall, yesterday we broke a bunch of 4H OBs, creating a 4H primary leg right here with a 4H pro trend unconfirmed primary OB. However, now that we extended the pro trend previously confirmed primary leg, we've got this primary OB that we can now validly trade from. Remember why I say it's pro trend previously confirmed is because the original underlying trend was confirmed bullish, and this is on the idea that the bullish trend will continue. So that's pretty much the 4-hour in a nutshell. Moving on to the 5-minute, there's reasons to trade both long and short for today. I'll start off with trading long. So in order to trade long, we essentially need to ensure that we're not validating any primary legs from one of these primary leg. Actually, you know what, let me start with shorts because it will make sense for the longs. So for the purposes of shorting, we have 4H OB backing. However, now that we're trading against a 4H OB that invalidates shorts until the point when we validate internal range liquidity, essentially building the triangle and then reacting to a primary leg unmitigated OB, which is this, at which point we can build a secondary leg. Once the secondary leg is validated, it will invalidate the long secondary leg, and then we can look for a short position to then target this low, ensuring that there's IRL available, with this being the last IRL point. Of course, once we reach a new 4H fresh area that hasn't been mitigated or reacted to, then all of these rules need to restart, where we need to rebuild IRL, a new triangle, a new 5M unmitigated OP that is part of the primary leg, and then building that secondary leg. So that's how I would go about shorting. However, what this means is, for the Frankfurt in London session, there is definitely opportunity to short. There's a lot of unmitigated POIs we can rely on, and there is IRL available. So with that being the last IRL point right here, so there's definitely opportunity for shorting, hence why I'm saying pay close attention to the legs that are developing. Then from a long perspective, what you can see is that we have built the secondary leg. However, because this is a secondary leg, and the reason why it's a secondary leg is because this is not a pro trend for HOB, it's a primary leg for HOB, which then means this is a secondary OB, and the minute that we validate a secondary leg from these primary pro trend unconfirmed OBs, that secondary leg will invalidate these, and there will only be scope for shorting until the point when the secondary leg is extended again. So that's something to pay attention to. That's something to be mindful of, and things can change quite quickly, so it's important to pay attention. And then other opportunities for shorting is either, so there's essentially 3 scenarios, right? Scenario 1 is that the secondary leg holds and no other secondary leg is developed, in which case we can trade based on the secondary leg. Or scenario 2 is we extend the secondary leg after validating a secondary leg from these, which will revalidate the secondary leg, and then we can potentially find an entry. Or option, that was option 2. Option 3 would be we reset the secondary leg, come deep into the void OB and build a new secondary leg. And there's one last option, which is probably less likely but may happen, is we actually come to the unreacted to portion of the void OB, that is the protein unconfirmed OB, and we build a new primary leg, and then we can short from that point onwards. Actually, no, sorry, I lost my train of thought here. Essentially, what we were trying to do is validate longs. So obviously, once we come and take out this substructure point, it's a significant target being reached, and at that point we'll stop trading long for the day, and shorts will be back on the cards as such. And then for shorts, once we take out the substructure right here, then obviously a significant target is met, and shorts are invalid, with only longs being the potential next possibility at this point. So there's a lot of options for navigating for today. I think the key is staying on your 5-minute or the lowest time frame and validating your primary and secondary legs before making any trading decisions. And then also what you do want to do is remember your previous session liquidities, taking that into account, news releases, and ensuring that you're operating within your previous high and low of the day parameters. In this case, yesterday's previous high and low of the day is quite wide, so it's unlikely to pose any issues for us. And then the last consideration is obviously ensuring that we have available daily range and we're trading in the right sessions. Other than that, I hope you have a good day, and we'll chat again for the New York outlook.